this is Tanya from Your Witchy Stuff. I hope this video finds you all well today, and thanks for tuning in. Today I am going to be doing a quick deck review, or hopefully quick. Well, you know how my rambling type, but a quick deck review having to do with one of my favorite indie decks that I got last year. That I've been doing a deck study on because it doesn't come with a full guidebook. It comes with like a little pamphlet, I'll show you, but it is effective. It does give you something to work with, journal with. I am working with and creating my own guidebook for it, slowly but surely, with my other projects. Now, with that being said, I did not bring that outside. This is just more of an impromptu. Excuse me while I move my camera. Okay. And with that being said, it is called the Ophidia Rosa Tarot. It is by Lila and Olive. Nicole Rales is the one that does it. She also does the deck on that, the Viola Lux, which I do own, and I do own the Ophidia Botanical Oracle deck. They're all botanical decks. This does have snakes in it, just to let you know. So if you don't like snakes, or you have a thing, my thing is against spiders. I'm just not a spider. If anything, spiders make my skin crawl. But if that does the same for this, you can certainly feel free to tune off now. You've been tune off, tune out. You've been forewarned. So here is this deck. Of course, if you watch any of my previous videos, I do work with serpent energy on many levels on that. So, of course, this would appeal to me. I want to show this again, indie deck. I think I paid about $50 for it. Not bad for the quality. I would certainly pay more for that. This was my first deck from them, and then I did get Ophidia, the Botanical, last year, and then Viola Lux at the end of last year. Now this deck, as you can see, the box is great quality. Now look at the inside here. White, breathtaking. Look at that. It's got a beautiful little thing here. So again, right there, the quality box in itself. A nice smooth box. Now this deck here is definitely worth everything. Of course, I'm a big fan of indie decks. And I'm a big fan of decks. Not every deck, I'm very particular, but still, I have a pretty good, extensive, ever-growing collection. So with that being said, yes, I'm still filming. I don't edit my videos, so just making sure that I'm not going off on a ramble. This is my second attempt. My first one, I kept stumbling and stumbling. I need glasses, but hence I need money, so I'll be starting a job on Monday. But this video is not about that or a blog, just a simple deck review. So, with the Ophidia Rosa Tarot, here's the pamphlet real quick. Very nice pamphlet. This is, as you can see here, just an example, the major arcana. So, with that being said, with the major arcana in all the cards in it, it has a simple but effective little poem, like the beginning of a poem, which is very beautiful. That's all her decks do. But this one does not come with a guidebook. So hence I've been slowly but surely creating my own interpretations of that. I do not know botanicals or identify them other than some common ones or things that I can easily look up. But that did not deter me. This deck does not follow RWS or thought system, so that's why I'm creating my own. I just do it as it's voiced with. Now, here's the lovely backs, much like the box. The cardstock is buttery smooth and one of my favorites. Definitely, like I said, nothing went without detail or thought by the creator. That's why I'm saying that I don't see as much on this deck as I should. Now look at the gilding on this. It's beautiful. And this deck kind of reminds me, takes me back to a time and place which I'm sure I lived in a previous lifetime, probably in the Victorian era or maybe sometime in that type of thing. in a time where I did magic, or maybe one of my ancestors did. Either way, it brings me back to that type of feeling, a feeling of romance, beauty, connection with the earth, the universe, serpentine energy. A little bit of other animals are in this deck on it, and of course just true magic, magic of intuition, the magic of being, the magic of existence, the magic of Mother Nature, Earth, and of cycles and blooms. So this card stock real quick. Nice, see, nice. That I'm not a riffle shuffler. I am kind of rough on my decks at points, but I'm not a riffle shuffler. So, just not my thing. I kind of know how to do it, just not my thing. We all have our ways of doing that, working with our cards. If you're watching it, you're either a follower, or you have cards, or a collector, or a reader, much like myself. So again, this is a highly intuitive deck for me. Now, lately I have stepped into working with Lilith. She just get my feet wet. I think she's been there for quite a while, but due to my own limiting fears on that, and holding my own self back, and other types of situations and such, the more I'm embracing, opening up, releasing, growing, studying, and just being who I am and working through is the Pride Challenge, which helps me to reclaim myself, my confidence in my truth that I kind of freely let go and gave away. Lilith has started stepping forth for me in many different ways, in many different signs. I am kind of blessed in many ways as I grow and evolve, that I have always had the ability to work with spirits and deities, even though I didn't know what they may have been, or that I was scared of them. They were there for me. What scared me throughout my life is actually trying to help me or convey to that. But you live, you learn, you grow. There's lessons, and with that, you let away. As you assimilate and bring things in, you start seeing truth and removing untruths, and of course, alchemizing oneself. Now, this deck here, as I said, Lilith speaks clearly through that. Now, unlike some of the other deities that I can actually hear that are vocal, she has not been vocal with me, and not as of yet. However, I feel her presence, and when I pick up this deck, I feel the presence of the serpentine energy, the divine feminine. But that even though this is a very beautiful deck, this actually does have a lot of that underlying mystery. What does this mean? What is this conveying to the message? How do I connect with it? What is the universe? What is the divine trying to tell me? What is my higher self trying to tell me? What are my ancestors and guides and familiars trying to tell me? So, I mean, look at this on here. Again, if I don't know my botanicals, this is just my gnosis and how I use this deck. And I thought I would share something that I've been using and studying with quite recently, avidly, especially, like I said, in the past months. I used it on and off last year. Sorry if my nails are getting in the way. So, as you can see, like, look at that last one I showed, like, look at that Two of Cups. That's kind of clear, but I love the serpentine, but it kind of reminds me like the Tree of Knowledge, the wisdom, the Kabbalah. Very esoteric in its message and mysticism. And if you are into botanicals, of course, or in such, and that type of magic, this will definitely appeal to you. Also, if you're into serpentine energy, that will definitely marry with you too. I look at this as a message from Lilith about how she was cast out and cast aside, but how she stepped into her power. That she has a lot to offer, a lot of wisdom, courage, strength, and the dark divine feminine. And those of us that are females or identify as women, but also she has a lot to teach the men in integration and in power, courage, pride, embodying one's truth, strength through adversity and challenges, through abuse, abuse that we live in one's life and it's their childhood and trying to heal and grow. Now, I do love that Four of Swords. And look, Four of Wands. Four is, I guess, trying to convey a message to me today. Balance. I got Four of Cups as one of my cards today. So yes, today's obviously telling me balance. Yeah, every day I need that. Who doesn't? I love the borders on this deck, and the more and more I work with it. But again, it speaks really clearly through this deck with me. This works very well, this deck does, with the 3 Black Moons deck on here, which is by, oh geez, Burning Paper Hearts, Chris Madsen. Sorry about that. It looks lovely. The color palettes are complementary as the messages. I just discovered that as of yesterday. I've had the intuition about that, but just discovered it. This works lovely with Queen Mab. Lilith does speak well through Queen Mab. So that also has part of the measure of that. I have used it with others. I have used it with the Haunted Manor Oracle. So with many. So you feel something that you can't quite pinpoint or put your finger on when working with this deck. Kind of like Lilith, kind of like Serpentine energy. That constant cycling of death, growth, birth, rebirth, the cycle of life, the cycle of different patterns in one's life cycle, like the moon, like ourselves, moment to moment, day to day, year to year, evolution. With this, like this, what Lilith tells me too through this deck is that there is a lot of beauty in life and different ways to interpret and learn, and wisdom to be embodied. To look around you, but to definitely look within, to connect with the unknown and the esoteric and the occult, if you're into that path, or any spiritual path for that method, or with plants, botanical, and life itself, and our relationships, and how the relationships I feel with the serpent and the botanical, and just the overall messages to the tarot, to the keys and messages of the tarot. I highly recommend this deck, as I said. This would be one of the decks I definitely would not have no qualms about buying over once again. I have not used this deck really to read for others. I may in the future. Someone like my mother, who I read for and occasionally, would definitely appreciate this, other than the snake. But I think overall she could step past and look past that. Sorry, as you can hear the wind chimes. It's a beautiful warm day here, but very breezy, which is fine and welcoming at the same token. It's going to be getting warmer in the next upcoming days. I just do recommend when you get this deck, it does have a tendency, because of the gilding, to stick together, so just be very gentle with it. Also, again, throw out the window any things and conceptions about RWS, sloth, or anything like that. Just embrace what comes through to me, what intuitive hits you get from the universe, from the cards, or from the guides, or spirits, or anything. I do both. Of course, as I do with all my decks. My guides, familiars, deities, and of course decks, and my higher self and my gifts definitely are always factored in. I'm self-taught and have been for my whole life. Read dozens upon dozens and more on tarot, but most of it's always been an intuitive thing, a channeling and messaging. And in many ways, this is a gentle deck. But it could also, like I said, has that type of way of sometimes delivering very hard messages, or you're kind of like what? Like this card, for example. Look at this Emperor. And that doesn't normally remind, if you're familiar with the RWS, the Emperor, but to me it still reminds me of that. Look at that Nine of Cups. Look at one of my favorite cards, Death. I look for this in any deck. The depiction of death. I look for the High Priestess, the Magician, also the Three of Swords, even though I don't like the Three of Swords, the Ace of Swords, Two of Cups, Chariot, Wheel, yeah. So probably first and foremost, because my birth cards are Justice and the High Priestess, of course those ones are staples. I have read this on my collective readings last year. So if you do look back or interest looking back, you'll see it, and I'm sure you're going to see it come more into play in collective readings or be mentioned. I would highly recommend to check out Lila and Olive for all their offerings. And her Instagram, she has certainly an enchanting Instagram of Victorian and witchery and all that type of things. And along with that, the garden. Certainly such beautiful botanicals. I'm jealous of her garden. Not that tea is not my cup of tea to garden, but it doesn't mean I don't appreciate that or the talent that others have. I did not get that talent so far in my family where others have. I know how to work with them after they're dead or dried on magical and intuitive purposes. So just a couple more real quick here. Yep, so we're trying to keep this rather quick, under 20, so here's just a couple more. And this does have a completely different voice than the Viola Lux. They look similar, but the voice of how the decks speak, the borders and other things are completely different. That's more of a shadow deck, and as I use that more and more, I will eventually probably do a complimentary review or comparison on this. So with this being said, I thank you for watching this and checking out this deck. Again, it's by Lila and Olive, by Nicole Rallis is the artist of that, and checking out her Instagram, Lila and Olive. And I hope this all finds you well. If you do like this deck or any of my other previous offerings or interested, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it does help my channel grow and to know that my message is resonating or that you like someone to share. If you have any questions regarding this deck or anything else I show or offer, I'll be happy to do so, or share what I can. And with that, blessed be.